In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That over there is Cash Kraus.
What up, what up?
Not much, man. Just being infected by the coronavirus.
Absolutely. Corona's in full swing. It snowed a little, middle of March. It's also Friday the 13th, so things are going good for us right now.
I'd say 2020 is off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, Kobe's no longer with us. We have a virus
killing a bunch of people, I guess.
Everything's shut down, but
everything's shut down except in the state where it's like the second highest rates of coronavirus.
yes.
We have not shut down here in Washington State yet,
ground
as it sits
zero.
Friday.
Yep.
Yeah. We're going to release this on Monday, but yeah. As far as right now, and as far as Friday, we don't have it.
It's a good Friday the 13th, though. It feels like a Friday the 13th. It feels like a Friday the 13th, for sure.
I completely agree with that, Cash.
Like, it feels like this might be our last Friday the 13th.
It very well could
How
be.
things are working out right now.
Yeah, the pandemic,
Just
the
where we're at right
chaos.
now, they're just saying, don't leave your house. They're calling
That's
it
basically what they're
social
saying.
distancing.
Mhm.
Do not leave your house.
No shaking of the hands.
No, I won't go within 3 feet of someone.
Well, that's good, because I measured this out. It was about
I
3.5.
know you did.
So you're
Yeah.
good. You're good.
I won't go 3 feet with anyone. And if I hear you cough, sniffle, I'm on the phone ratting you out.
Yes.
Have to. Yep. I was on my phone with my mom the other day, heard a little something in her, in her voice. Yeah. Immediately called the hospital. I haven't seen her since.
You know what we should do, Cash? If we're not able to go to the movie theaters because they're closed down because of this whole coronavirus thing, we should do a fun little movie like Contagion or something.
Or Outbreak.
Yeah,
that
would be fun. It would be very relevant.
We could wear
for the
hazmat
coronavirus.
suits.
Yeah, we could.
That would be fun.
That would be awesome.
That would be fun.
I don't know where we're going to purchase those, but
You can get them anywhere nowadays.
I guess so. Amazon.com, yeah.
Well, they're stocking them up at any corner store.
It'd be real fun.
Yeah, they're.
I think you get a little sweaty after a while, after 50 minutes.
Well, we might actually need them at that point. So it might be more of a practical thing than more of a practical joke.
Okay, we're still on. Yeah. Both in hazmat suits.
Well, see you later. Just leave.
It's good knowing y'all.
But we're not here to talk about the corona.
We're not.
Although we like to.
We do.
It's always fun to
me. It is a lot of fun.
It's always fun to me. And now I kind of know what would happen, how I would react if the world was ending. And it's exactly this way. Just having a goof, having a laugh about it.
Oh, yeah. You have to.
But we're not here to talk. We're here to review a movie, because that's what we do, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the movie we are reviewing today?
Well, Cash Kraus, it's called The Way Back, and it stars Ben Affleck.
It does. Not Ben Batfleck.
Not Batfleck.
Because he's no longer Batman, but Ben Affleck.
Himself.
Yep, directed by Gavin O'Connor. Same guy who directed Warrior.
Yep.
Which is his best film. I think he directed Miracle also, which people love.
Warrior,
Miracle.
Yeah, Warrior was really good. I had only like one or two gripes about it, and the one or two gripes is that he had those guys fight twice on the same day. That would never happen. Period.
He used to be able to do that.
Well, yes, but not in.
Yeah, but that was some like weird fictional tournament.
Yes,
it was a Grand
tournament.
Prix that they were doing.
Yeah.
In a Grand Prix, you have to fight more than once. Just how you do
I guess
it.
so.
That's how it used. That was back
But
in the good days.
the thing is, like Bellator and stuff nowadays, they at least give their fighters. They do Grand Prix, but you get 2 or 3 months to recover. You're not fighting the same day or the next.
Oh yeah,
day.
that's not really a Grand Prix then. If you get any time in between, not really a Grand Prix.
It's not the OG Grand Prix, is what you're saying.
Not. But yeah, this is not a fighting movie. This is not a Ben Affleck getting in the ring though. This is a basketball movie. I would say it was marketed as a sports movie, but I think they mismarketed this one.
They totally did.
I would say it's instead of a basketball movie with drama, it's a drama with basketball.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
sure.
a fair assessment. Definitely.
I understand when I asked you, because I asked you when you first saw it if it was better than Remember the Titans. Because that's top tier sports movie,
It
right?
definitely is. Yeah, and I just rewatched that about a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just as good as
It's
it holds
great.
up.
It's seriously just as good. It really does hold up, that movie. And Denzel Washington.
Powerful movie.
Oh yeah.
Powerful movie. Yeah.
And I didn't understand like the undertone of that when I was a child watching that. But when you watch it as an adult, you're like, Jesus, there was some serious racism.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it was the 60s.
right. But I mean towards the coach more so than anyone else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah. But this one, like we said, it's not really a sports movie.
Nope.
Again, it's a drama that has, but the trailer to me makes it seem like the sports aspect, the basketball was going to play a much larger role.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I think it's about 10% of the movie is basketball.
Yeah. But that's not to say that this movie wasn't good or that it didn't have a good storyline, but it was just mismarketed
No, yeah.
as far as being a sports film.
It's just a better drama than it is a sports movie.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. I mean, it's not,
And basketball is kind of one of those things that introduce you to the character, is like one of his, the way back. Like this movie was going to be called The Has-Been.
yeah.
Yeah, before it's The Way Back.
That sounds
so
like it's more of a comedy.
It does.
Now that
The
sounds
Has-Been
funny.
sounds
Yeah,
funny.
That sounds funny.
I think that's probably why they changed the name.
That sounds like a good sports movie.
It does. The Has-Been.
Yeah, like people having to come back.
Coming back from
Yeah.
high school and like trying to coach. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why it's called The Way Back either. I don't know if that's ever discussed. But so I had a Ben Affleck epiphany while watching this movie.
Oh, okay. And what was that?
Ben Affleck, he's a strange actor to me because some things he's in are amazing, right?
Yep.
Like The Town,
Yep.
Good Will Hunting,
Yes.
amazing, right? And then some things he's in are horrible. Batman, what was the movie we just watched on Netflix?
Oh, shoot.
The Last Thing You Ever Wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got a list of other things that were really bad, but he's got also a list of things. I was thinking, why? Why is it that he is awesome in some things and then horrible in other things? And I think I figured out. If he cannot relate to the character in some way,
Yeah.
I don't think he can play the character.
Mm-hmm.
If there's not anything that he can relate to, say if the character's not from like Boston or something, or it has some kind of, because he can relate to having like an alcohol problem or something like that, or just being this everyday guy he can relate to.
Yeah.
Playing a construction worker, it's right up Ben Affleck's fucking alley. But playing a rich like playboy Bruce Wayne type,
Not up his alley.
or playing like a senator's assistant or whatever in that shitty Netflix movie. I don't think it's right. I think that's what I figured out. If he can't relate to these characters, he has no idea. He just seems out of place.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. But I think picking this movie was a great choice for Ben Affleck.
So do I. And it was probably therapeutic and healing for him.
Exactly,
too.
with everything that he's been going through and
Yeah.
how he's dealt with alcoholism for a very long time. It's a smart choice for him, and this is a role that he can play because he knows where he's coming from. I mean, I think that's true. I think I've cracked the code. But yeah, should we just get into it?
Yeah, let's hop into it.
I thought it was pretty good.
So did I.
I thought
I
that-
was pleasantly surprised with this.
The acting was by far the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
The
for
story
sure.
itself was pretty good. The basketball parts, you could have completely taken them out, in my opinion.
Really?
Well, yeah, because there's almost no development with the team except for one character.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like a Coach Carter situation where they tried to get where there's a ton of development with almost every character in that. He's not having any development with any character at all. There's no like building at all in that relationship.
I would say probably only with two students, and one was the team captain or the new team captain, and then the
Yeah.
other kid that he kicked off the
I
team.
wouldn't even say there's much development there.
No, there's not, because like
They didn't spend any time. It didn't seem like they spent any time together outside of and it never shows like practices. It only shows like games. So again, it's barely in a basketball movie at all. But
Well, I think so too, that he didn't have the proper time to really develop with these kids. He's coming in mid-season to coach.
oh yeah,
He coached 10 or 12 games, but
they still have practices every fucking
day.
Yeah, and it barely, it shows one practice. And again, it's just development between him and the captain who didn't like to talk a lot. It was just, but anyway, so Ben Affleck, he's playing Jack Cunningham, and he's an alcoholic construction worker, which is how you want your construction workers working on giant high rises. You want them just drunk as hell, But he is separated from his wife, Angela, and we get introduced to him, how we get introduced to all alcoholic characters at Thanksgiving dinner. Because if anyone's going to embarrass themselves at a family event, it's going to be fucking Thanksgiving.
Totally.
You got your drunk uncle saying racist shit. He's doing all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
I thought for sure how he did it. I thought it could have been worse.
Yeah.
For sure. But,
yeah. Well, and, he had that big bottle of vodka in his car that he was pounding.
Yeah.
Before he went in.
Yeah. And he only lost control at the very end when he smashed all the bottles off it only to the very end, which is pretty good for an alcoholic at Thanksgiving.
Good. Yeah.
But yeah, so we introduced to him and his family, and we learned that he was been separated from his wife, Angela. But we don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I could immediately tell you exactly why they were separated. I knew immediately it was going to be that their son. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Well, because they had too good of a relationship between each other.
Yeah.
For it to be anything other than, Ben Affleck getting into alcoholism and then his wife just leaving.
Yeah.
After the depression of having their child pass away.
Yeah, absolutely. But so he's wakes up hungover, and that's about 90% of this movie is him waking up hungover, which is that's realistic. Yeah. But he gets a call from Father Devine from the Catholic school that he went to. And he says, Jack, we need you back. Old coach, bum ticker, had a heart attack. He says this team is
not going to be back this year.
So shitty anyways. It's not worth me risking my life to take on these horrible basketball players. So he just quits midway and just leaves the assistant coach out to dry. Of course, Jack says no, or says he can't. Says, I got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite scenes.
I agree. Yeah.
In this whole film was, after he gets off the phone, he goes, yeah, okay, I'll think about it. And then he's pounding beer, and it's a cut to the fridge. He's got probably 30 beers, a 30 rack of...
40.
40 beers?
I counted, yeah.
Yeah, it was a
4
lot
racks
of beers.
10.
Yeah. And he would put one in the freezer, and then it was just cut twos from him going back and forth into the refrigerator and grabbing the beers, and then also reciting different ways that he was going to tell Father Devine that he didn't want to coach.
Yeah.
And I love at the end, he goes, I don't want to fucking coach your team.
Yeah, I wish...
As he's drunk practicing.
I wish at some point it would have showed him, drunkenly agree to it or something. Mm-hmm. So then the next day he had to. Because it never shows why he agrees to it.
That's kind of open to interpretation, though. I thought that every ounce of his being was trying to say no to it, but he felt moved to just be a part of it again. I think with basketball and everything else and where his life was, I thought it made sense to me.
Oh, because you're saying he agreed to it just because he needed to? I thought he was getting more and more drunk to the point where the truth was coming out. He just said, "Oh, I don't want to fucking do it."
No, I don't.
Where he started out sober, where he's like, "Yeah, sorry, I got a lot of things."
But I think that
on.
can be true. I think you cannot want to do something, but know you need to do it at the same time. And I felt that's where the pull was for that character. Yeah,
but you're doing that when you're 40 beers deep.
Maybe.
Well, whether he did
I've
or
had
not,
an epiphany when I was drunk or before, or just like you have these thoughts of why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? I need to be doing this.
Yeah, but you as an alcoholic, you're getting out of that any way you possibly can. In my mind, you don't. As an alcoholic, you don't want to do anything but drink.
But he also had a past of being the basketball star. He should have went to college.
Yeah, but we learned he hasn't played. He hasn't touched the basketball since he stopped in high school.
Yes.
Or since he
stopped. Out of spite for his father.
Yeah, he hated his dad because his dad hated him. His dad only liked him when he was, because his dad was, I'm assuming, was probably an alcoholic as well.
Totally, yeah.
Usually runs in the family.
It does. It's a family tree thing.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so he ends up agreeing. He comes, again, hungover the next day. He comes to the gym to meet the players, the team, and the team is just this riff-raff group of nobodies.
And there's literally only 10 guys on the team. And I like when he comes in, he goes, how many guys you got? How many guys do you have? Like 40, 50? He's like, no, 10. He goes, no, I know in varsity, but how many JV? And
well, he's like, when I was
10.
at school, we had 100 kids come out for the what a
school, what a fall from grace. You know?
Yeah, and now he says that we have 6 varsity players and 4 JV we did bring up.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy, he's like a safety on the football team. He only does it like keep in shape. Or something like that. But their center is 6'3", so they're really small. And somehow he didn't know this, but Jack is like, "Wow, are you guys competitive?" He's like, "No, not really. We actually haven't gone to the playoffs since you were in school."
Which was 25 years ago, back in 1994.
Yeah. What happened to that school when they just could not handle when he left? Because it showed the banner, it was like his year, then nothing else.
Yeah, and then like the championship or whatever, the other banner, and then that was the last year they ever
not like
anything.
the regionals or anything.
Nope, not one time.
I guess
25 years.
Everyone knew they peaked with Jack, and like, well, we're just gonna fuck off now.
Yeah.
But we're not going anywhere.
We're getting comfortable at this point because we went somewhere year, and that's
not
all
even
that
going
matters.
the next year to like regionals or something. I mean, you probably have a lot of the same guys. You just have.
Yeah, you might have had 1 or 2 seniors.
Although, what were they
gone,
saying?
but
He was dropping like 50 points a game.
Yeah,
or
he was like
that.
unbelievably good,
Yeah, because we find out he had a full ride to Kansas,
which is a big deal for basketball.
But it makes sense. I like it because it's Ben Affleck. It makes more sense because, I mean, he's 6'4", though. So 6'4" guard, it'd be good. I mean, it would
be
work.
great,
It'd work, yeah. So it makes sense. At least it's not like, I don't know, like Emilio Estevez out there. He's like 5'5" or something. Or it's Tom Cruise is playing like an old. Yeah. He's like
Being
5'6", and he was dropping 50 points a game. Yeah.
I could have played center in the NBA. You're like, no.
Not only that, but they go to such a big school where the best team in the entire state of California is in their division.
Of course. That's how it works. That's how it always
What
works.
are the odds? What are the odds of that?
I don't know. Pretty astronomical.
And your team is so bad that you had to pull 4 guys from that
From
school.
JV.
That school must have probably 5,000 kids.
Probably. Yeah, if you're playing a big team like that, you'd have to have a lot.
The best team in the state.
I brought this up. I was at the
fishy.
movie. It did. It did seem very.
Because not only that, but the best state in California, they probably have 3 superstars that are. I mean, they're going
at least
to
in the whole state of California. Yeah, I guarantee there's probably 20 who are going to some big.
Well, I'm
D1
talking about on
colleges.
just the best team, just that team. There's probably 3 kids that have full ride scholarships to fucking in California. The biggest.
Yeah, of course.
So for them, and it seemed a little far fetched.
Yeah.
Again, not a real sports movie, more of a drama.
They say they don't recruit, and technically they don't recruit. But again, you go where the best teams are, and then mom and dad moves the boy or the daughter out, moves to that little school district so they can go there. So it is recruiting.
Yeah,
so
just for instance,
you're totally right.
Like Lonzo, like the Ball family, like they all went to this one academy or whatever. That was fucking amazing, and all 3 of those kids were like NBA, and like 2 other kids. And for this team to be the best in the team, and then to have like not one like kid that's just like a superstar,
It seems
it's a little far fetched, But again, not a big drum, but he gets introduced to kids. He gets introduced to Brandon. That's the only kid that you really ever need to know about.
yes.
He's a point guard. He's the best on the team. He's the only one that can dribble up and down the court. Honestly, they got one kid. His name is Chubbs because always got to have a fat kid on any sports movie.
You have
gotta have
the
not
fat
a
kid.
full team unless you have a chubby kid, and he's got to be able to dance at some point.
He does.
Remember the Titans had it.
Yep. Everyone's had it. Goonies had it. That's not a sports movie, but
Mighty Ducks had it.
Mighty Ducks. Yeah.
The goalie, he was
Well, even the Little Giants.
yes, every sports ever.
movie, yeah.
If it has kids, it has one plump kid.
plump
Only
kid,
one though.
yeah, only
not
one.
not like in real life when there's like 6 fat kids on every team in America.
Yeah, at least.
But yeah, so he gets introduced to Brandon, but Brandon is like really shy, right? Mm-hmm. And again, the center who's 6'3", who is like, it's so. I don't know, just how this team is so bad. The center, he's like, he only shoots threes. And it's just like, let me see you practice. He's breaking threes, and no one's saying anything to this kid.
No. And he's like, yeah, I made the most threes last year. He goes, how many attempts? He goes, I made 41. How many attempts? 134. So what's your percentage there? Like 30%?
No, he was shooting 22%, they said.
Yeah, 22%. Okay, so it's something
And
higher.
no one once sat that kid down. It's mid-season. No one once sat that kid down. Hey, I don't stop shooting. I mean,
Stop shooting threes.
For
You're
one,
a center.
you're a center.
Yeah.
Is this your first day on the court? This is your first day of basketball?
Do you not know what you're doing?
Centers don't stay on the key. It's
They
just
do
common
not.
sense. If you watched one
Work the
basketball
paint.
game, you would know that.
Yeah.
But he's throwing up bricks the entire time. But there's one white kid who
yeah. Who's the sixth man on the squad?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It's been a while since I have been to high school. But these kids, I don't know. Just the way they're acting, it just seemed too written for me. Too, like, just the way they acted seemed like an older person writing for a younger person. But I don't know. That's typical. So he coaches the first game, right?
Right.
And they get you think it's maybe they're gonna upset or something. No, they get killed by like 40.
They do.
And he immediately goes to the bar.
Yeah.
Like any good coach.
Immediately.
Like any
Yeah.
good coach
And
I've
he's
seen too
getting
many times.
drunk.
Yeah. He's getting wasted. And he always goes to the same bar that we learned because he's, again, like 50% of the movie's in this fucking bar because he's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's getting drunk, and then he's going to work the next day, and he's putting alcohol in his coffee cup, and like building this fucking
And it's straight vodka too. Like it's not a mixer, it's not anything. It's literally just straight.
Yeah.
And it's almost half the bottle.
yeah, but you can't smell vodka. That's the
You
good
can't.
thing.
Not
That's
on
the
your
good
breath.
thing. And you know, Ben Affleck probably brought that up. He's like, guys, you had me putting whiskey in here, but it's
I'm
actually
more
vodka.
of a whiskey guy, if I'm being honest. But you know,
But it's actually a vodka thing. Yeah, you can't.
when you're an
smell-
alcoholic, alcohol is alcohol. So
But so he but he starts to or he starts to like really care about the team, I guess, or whatever, right?
right.
And he employs, this is his great fucking idea. They're gonna start adopting the full court press. No one's fucking thought
Because
of
what
that.
he says is all that adds up. You know, that steal for 2 points, that adds up.
Yeah.
And that block shot, that fast break, you know,
Yeah,
the
but like
steals and
6 out of 10 high school teams do full court press.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny though that he does this and the team just flips around.
they're just they just do a complete 180 and just are crushing the
25
competition.
years, no one has ever employed the full court press on this team.
I want to know the coach before this, how he kept his job as long
This
as
guy
he
was
did.
drunker than fucking Jack.
Yeah.
This guy was drunk off his ass.
He was just smarter about it. He just hit his liquor better.
Because if this guy, no one, he goes full court press. But he does it and it starts working.
It does.
Immediately. No one knows what to do out of the full court press. Teams just clamp up. But and they start working on conditioning also, right? And then the team starts, growing. We get some montages
We
going. And
But then Marcus shows up late one day for practice, and that's the center that throws up bricks all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, and he shows up late
And
for
he
practice.
always just like is the biggest dick.
Yeah, he's an asshole. And so
For not being very good, it doesn't make sense.
he shows up, what, I'm only 5 minutes late. And then he's being a dick to the coach, and he just says, you know what? Instead of just going home, why don't you're off the team.
Yeah, it's classic.
It is classic,
There's it's done a lot in sports movies. There's always one point. I keep going back to Coach Carter because it seems like every basketball scene took from Coach Carter.
Oh, of
And this
course,
is
yeah.
just like it's a great
Coach
movie.
Carter's
though.
a great movie.
Coach Carter is a good movie. Anything with Samuel, of course, but yeah, he says, "Get it off your team, dude. You're fucking out." And of course, the kid's like, "Whoa, what's going on? I don't know." He goes, "This is bullshit." And he throws his bag or whatever, and he calls up the other white kid. He says, whatever his name, Rodney or whatever, dude, you're up. The safety. He's like, fuck yeah. And this kid should have been playing the entire time.
It's not bad.
Oh, he's
Seems
trying.
like
He's the only
working
one
hard.
trying.
Yeah. He's a workhorse.
He's the only one giving a damn, that's for sure. But yeah, so is that the kid's name, Marcus?
Yeah, Marcus is the one
tall
that got
kid,
kicked
yep.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's out. But with him gone, the team kind of flourishes. And he eventually moves Brandon to team captain.
Team captain.
Kicks
Yep,
the
quiet
varsity
one.
kid off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we also learned that Brandon's mom died, right? So his dad's taking care of 2 other kids, so his dad hates basketball. Of
Well,
course.
because, and then we find out later on as well, he hates basketball because he did have a scholarship and he ruined it in his life. And then now he's taking it out on his kids.
It's
like,
it's
what?
so stupid, yeah. I don't want my son playing basketball. And then Ben Affleck's character, Jack, he's like, he's got a full ride. Basketball's no good. It's never going to give him anything.
It's not going to put food on the table.
It's going to give him a great...
It's going to give him a great education. He can go get an awesome job and not have student loans.
Yeah, I ain't paying for that. It's going to be free. Nope.
Free.
You could not convince him.
No, you couldn't. There are people like that, though, man, like where they're jealous of their kids, which is really a gross thing.
I know, but
you should always want what's best
But he
for your
wasn't
kid.
like that, though. His dad wasn't jealous or whatever. His dad just wanted him to go and fucking work because that's the only thing that he ever gave him money, you know?
Yeah.
He did basketball and give him anything. He just wanted to be on the fish dock or whatever he was.
Well,
which is a weird thing to want for your kid, but it's because he thought that basketball was... it was a scam. They were just going to take advantage of him.
yeah, but there's
he
really
was really
no
good.
excuse. He had a full ride.
I know, it's really...
I get it if your kid's got a partial and you're like, okay, you probably need
Well,
to go
exactly.
to work.
I think it was bad writing because it's like 1950s mentality. You're like, at college ain't no good.
It's like,
Ain't going to
pull
work.
yourself up by your bootstraps, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's like, it's 2000. And like, this guy, he's going to get fed for one. They're going to pay
They're
him.
going
He's not
to
gonna
feed
pay
him. Yeah, they're not going to feed
He's
him.
not. He's literally not going to pay for anything. And get free college. And the dad was like, "No, I want him working at the fish market." It was weird.
It was very strange.
But eventually, he doesn't convince him. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He invites him to one of the games, but he says, "Fuck, I got 2 kids to worry about,
I got shit
and I
to
got
do.
fish to fucking throw and do shit." And you know how fishing works. I don't know how it does, but he also pushes Brandon to be more vocal because Brandon's really quiet.
Yep. He's got to be more of a team leader.
This is done in another montage. Where again, the only time the coach ever focuses on any player is on Brandon, which just sucks for the other kids because there's about 4 guys you don't even hear from the
entire movie. They might have one line, one dialogue. Like that's it. It's crazy.
But then, so things are starting to go good. They're starting to win some games though from the full court. Again, the full court miracle defense. No one could have thought of it. He's a genius. He's like Coach K. He's like Pop. No one could have thought of the full court.
No.
But they're winning games. But then, of course,
Marcus wants to be back on the squad. He shows up unannounced to Jack's house.
oh yeah, this is before things started getting shitty again.
Yeah.
And also, Big Jack, he stopped drinking a little bit.
He did.
did.
Yeah, he started getting more
Remember,
happy.
he goes to the bar and he just goes off.
and then he pulls away because the guy's like, hey, I'll set you up inside. That's never a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good when you already got 4 shots lined up because you know this guy. And I guess it's barely touched on. The scenes are nice, but I wish they would have. There's so many scenes where I thought they could have gone more into depth with it. With like the guy that would like take care of him when he got really drunk, Doc.
Yeah, we never heard about their relationship or like how they became friends.
I thought that was going to end up being like that was his old high school basketball coach.
See, that would have been really good.
Yeah, and
that would have been the
I
perfect.
kept thinking, but they had to fit all these basketball scenes in, so they had to like skip out on. I just wish it was just a drama about him, and just like you don't show any basketball at all. You just kind of show him developing through that, and because there's this guy because he gets drunk every night, gets hammered drunk, blacked out, can't walk, and this old guy named Doc comes and helps him and carries him home every night.
Yeah, he's throughout the film. He probably carried him home 3 or 4 times.
Why
at
everyone
least.
else in the bar is like buying him shots and shit. He's the only one like cutting him off and shit. But it never goes into depth of like, because that's obviously the father character.
Yeah,
I mean, but it never goes into the depth of like why that guy just had a shitty role of having to take care of this stranger every night. But I wish it would have went more into depth with that.
yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so Marcus goes back on the team after some lackluster convincing. While this is happening, Jack gets invited to a birthday party. Jack and Angela both get invited to a birthday party, and right before this, Angela tells Jack that she's seeing in someone else.
Yeah.
Because they're separated, but they're not divorced.
Mm-hmm. Seeing someone else, and they're getting invited to this birthday party. Let's clarify this. They're getting invited from from David, or to go to this kid named David, which was their son's friend.
Yeah, well, they met him
before he died.
Yeah, they met him in the cancer ward of the hospital.
Yes.
You know, it was a child's cancer ward, and the parents probably meet or whatever, and they became friends because they were obviously in there for a very long time.
Well, yeah, they said how many things of radiation did their kid go through before he passed away? Like 30 something.
Yeah, it was
rounds?
It was Miguel. That's the party that they went to.
Yeah,
yeah, and Miguel ended up getting better, but David ended up not getting better. That was the whole thing. Is they're friends. So it's kind of a weird thing. You got to still invite them to a birthday party and shit when they don't even have a kid. So it's a tough situation.
Well, and that scene right afterwards was really well acted.
And these are the best scenes for sure.
When they started talking about how, they invite them so they don't feel like outsiders, but them being there again only opens up old wounds, and they do feel even more like outsiders because they no longer have their child.
Well, it's an interesting, because this is like more than halfway through the movie, and they haven't said Ben Affleck's character's son's name once.
No, not one time.
And it's that first time they say it is when Miguel comes up and his dad is like, "Yeah, you remember David?" And then it's like this fucking like wave of emotion, and he kind of just
clams up.
You could see it.
You could see it visibly.
In his face, and he immediately, my immediate thought was, "Oh fuck, he needs a drink." Like
that's what I thought too.
That's his thought. That's what he's going through.
Immediately, I was like, remission.
Yeah,
he's going right back to drinking.
Like, you should not have gone to this fucking birthday party.
No. That's dude. When I was watching the film, I kept thinking about that. I'm like, why are they still putting themselves through this?
Because you got to pretend. You got to keep pretending. You got to put on the mask of that you're fine or whatever. Because the whole thing is just a lie. Just to tell.
It's sad.
That was the whole thing. That's why people keep inviting him to things, is because they don't really know how bad it is. No one really knows.
Well, and you don't know what to do either. Like, and it's sympathetic for the parents too as well, because they're not obviously not maliciously inviting these people, but they feel like if they don't invite them, then it could be also a slap in their face. So it's kind of a weird dynamic there. You don't know whether or not to invite them.
Yeah,
the parents of a deceased child.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They don't have a kid anymore. Oh yeah. But yeah, so he so after this he hits the bottle hard.
Yeah.
He goes right back into it.
And I think what really kind of hurt Jack, Ben Affleck's character too, is the boy remembered him, but he didn't really remember him.
Oh yeah.
And then Jack was like, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh no, you remember you guys used to wrestle, and he was like, oh yeah.
Well, he remembered his son.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than he remembered his dad, of course. Yeah. Yeah, you remember them like dressing up for Halloween or whatever one year or something like that. But yeah, and this is when it goes into Jack talking about how his dad only liked him when he was playing basketball or whatever, and why he never picked up a basketball after high school. And then he's blowing up on his ex Angela, which he does constantly.
Well, and he said that his life is in shambles. Well, she seems to be moving on and doing just fine.
Yeah.
And he kind of threw that in her face,
which isn't true
at all.
Of course
not. No.
Like, she's not going through anything.
Yeah, of course she's going through things, man. But he knew he fucked up. You could tell when he looked at her when she walked up those stairs that he knew he fucked up.
Oh, it's a constant.
It's just
It's 2 hours of Ben Affleck, I just fucked up face. Yeah, because he blows up on her every time they meet.
Yeah,
yeah.
Sometimes they have good, but he doesn't blow up as far as like being abusive or verbally like yelling or shouting.
No,
but
he just
does
ruins,
blow up in the sense
ruins the time every time. Yeah, because the first time they met, it was when she told him about the boyfriend, and he blew up and just ruined everything. They had to like just leave, and this time he ruined. But it's realistic in that way, because that's what it is when an addict, because they just ruin every relationship, just because of the disease is so bad, because we see him, he's doing it to his family. He like distance his family at Thanksgiving and whatever with blowing up with them and everything too. But yeah, so he goes back to coaching, and they need one more game for the playoffs. And
who do they got to play?
They got to play the
toughest team,
the bad
in the league.
Team from Iceland or whatever, the
team
bad
from
Germans,
the mighty Ducks. Yeah.
It's just a stereotypical bad guy team or whatever. But
Yeah, and the coach is a real asshole too.
immediately,
and, yeah,
a
of
dick
course.
to everyone.
He's like calling him. He's like, "Oh wow, I can't believe you got him long enough to get him out of the bar."
Yeah, how does
knowing
he
that
know?
his well, I know, but knowing that his child is, I mean, have a little sympathy for the guy.
I know,
Jesus
but how's that
Christ.
guy know where the assistant coach has no idea?
No idea,
But the guy from across another town, he knows.
He knows. That was kind of weird too in hindsight.
Yeah, but I guess they must have grown up together or something,
Mm-hmm.
right? They were the same age, I guess. But yeah, so they need one more loss, and this whole time, Jack through all the games, he's being razzed by the team. The team has a team. What's a team pastor or something?
Yeah, a team chaplain or something.
A team chaplain. And how hard would it to be a coach when you got a fucking chaplain
watching
you?
your every
Yeah.
move. Yeah, you can't say
Go out and kill those
anything.
guys.
Yeah, and they're like,
But
"We're gonna beat their ass."
The
And you're
chaplain
like, "Oh."
was on point. The faces he made were perfect.
They were.
Because every time, because he doesn't stop cussing. That's why the reason they'll never show this movie in schools is because he's cussing the entire time. You know?
Yes,
But he's
At
also
some
drunk the
point-
entire time. So,
It's true.
but during one game, he gets ejected by like his friend. Remember the
Yeah, the
ref?
referee.
He's
Yeah.
like, I only ref one game, and then he's at every game. Yeah. But yeah, he gets ejected for a foul or something.
Well, he gets ejected for calling the ref pretty much a fucking idiot.
Yeah, well,
And loud,
double
too,
tech.
yeah.
You get double text. Yeah, throws him out of the game, and that was a huge game too, right?
It was, yes.
Because if they didn't win that game, that means the next game they had to win against the evil team.
The evil team,
Yeah.
yes. Bishop Hayes.
But yeah, so they go and they and then that's when he goes and visits his dad and whatnot, and he tells them that about basketball and whatnot, and so Jack, he keeps drinking, and now he's drinking while he's coaching. You know, he's really stepping.
Not
it
a
up.
good. He is. It's
Stepping
the
up.
escalation.
Yeah, and the assistant coach already came up to him like at the beginning of.
Because he found a couple
The
beer.
first week.
Yes, because he found a few beer cans in the coach's office.
Yep, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I mean, he did the thing. I can't have you be drinking around
Yeah.
kids.
It's
I
like,
mean,
what are you gonna do? Bust my balls? I had a friend over.
This is
Come
a
on, we had a couple beers.
this is the
whatever.
1930s. You can be
Yeah.
smoking on the sideline, chugging Budweiser.
Just cigars as you're coaching basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's wild.
Jack is like, come on, I had a couple beer. Come on, so what? It's a Catholic school
is
for
the
one.
coach
Even at
like,
a
come
regular,
on.
even at public school that we went to,
Yeah, no,
coaches
you
were
could not
drinking.
do that. No.
But yeah, so he tells them that was at the very beginning, but now he's drinking. And he comes to one practice after a really bad night, like really late or whatever.
Yeah, he comes into practice late.
Because what happens is they get a call, or he gets a call from Angela
Yes.
that Miguel went back into remission.
Yeah.
Their son, the birthday party he just went to.
And they get to the hospital and they're both standing there and
Yeah.
they see the same look that they had when they realized
Well,
their
it's
child.
it's the doctor coming in and telling him that they're not going to make it, obviously. And we don't get to hear it. It's a really well done scene. But Jack immediately, of course, what you're not supposed to do, just leaves his ex.
His ex, yeah.
He just says,
He
I
says,
gotta
get out of here. I can't do this.
Yeah,
I can't
because you
do this
again, you can feel all the fucking emotion and everything going. Because of course, man.
Well, and you're reliving your own tragedy too.
If that happened to
every
me,
day.
I wouldn't go near a hospital.
I wouldn't either, man. I really wouldn't, especially a children's hospital.
If I was,
I couldn't do it.
If I was dying, but of course you got to do it. You got to go out for your friends
for
and
your
everything.
friends,
but
yeah.
When it's obviously that,
But also
fresh
at the
still.
same time, you got to have understanding and go.
Yeah.
I get why you're not showing up.
Yeah, and of course, and they can't do anything at that point, anyways.
No,
I mean they
yeah,
can't.
there's nothing you
they
can
can only
do. It's
condole.
just
Yeah,
all you can do is just be there for him.
But yeah, so he gets griefed. Then he hits the fucking bottle even harder
Yep.
than you can imagine.
Hits it super hard this night. He goes back to the bar too.
Oh, gets
Remember that?
hammered
Yeah.
drunk at the bar. Some ladies buying him shots the entire night. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. We never got who that was.
Just random.
Just a random lady.
He's been out, but
Lady
he's
in
a
the
good-looking
corner.
guy.
He is.
He's drunk. He might as well
6'4",
go
he might
for
as
it.
well try. Yeah,
He's not completely a piece of shit
swing
yet.
for the fences.
he's obviously got problems. Yeah, aim low, I guess. But yeah, so he gets drunk. Classic. He's just hammered drunk driving, and not even give me a drag of that cigarette.
Yeah. Give me a kiss. Not even freaking paying attention.
He
to
doesn't
the
look at the
road.
road once.
Nope.
And he rams his fucking
This guy's boat.
And instead of like being, oh fuck, the lady just go park it across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, okay. Instead of like being freaked out and like taking off, like if you're gonna
Which
run,
you should have. Like if you're gonna run, like run.
he goes and parks it like a block away.
No, he literally just takes it around the street and just parks it there. Because she said that she was the third house from the right or left.
Most of the time, that's a buzzkill. That's the end
I'm
of the
not
night.
in the mood. No, not anymore, dude. I'm going home.
But he's so drunk, he's like, fuck this, it's still gotta happen.
He's like, I got to keep it rolling. Got to keep this night going.
And yeah, and he ends up wandering into just some random house. I don't even know if it's in the same neighborhood at this point.
No.
It's classic. You always hear about drunks just randomly going into people's house. So he's lucky he didn't get shot. Though.
He is.
In
He's very
America, we
lucky.
shoot first.
We shoot
ask
first.
questions later, baby.
We do.
But yeah, so he gets but this is after this all happened after he got fired for being drunk though, right?
Yep.
Because they knew he was drunk.
Well, because he comes in the following morning really late to practice.
Yeah.
And all the boys smell alcohol on him.
Yep.
And that's what Father Devine
He's
said
wearing
as
like
well.
sweats. He's got
Yeah.
puke running down his
So it just looks terrible. I mean, if you're already late, you might as well just hop in the shower. I mean, just call in sick for the
exactly.
day,
It's
you know?
practice.
Yeah.
It's one day. But
Oh, there's a power outage.
Yeah,
That's what he
that
said.
was his
my alarm.
excuse,
Yeah,
yeah.
my alarm didn't go off because the power
so I had
was
to
out.
bathe in gin.
Yeah,
like why are you
gin and
smelling?
tonics and fucking beer?
Yeah.
And, no, not the way to go.
No, so they
Jack.
fire him obviously,
Of course,
which
you
is
know.
sad because it was like clearly the only thing keeping him going at this point.
Well, and he said it too multiple times to Father Devine. He goes, "I need this. I have to have this. This is the only
Yeah.
thing in my life right now."
He's like, let me play through the playoffs. And they're like, no.
"No, like again, you came into practice drunk. It's not.
It's
happening.
a one time, it's a
Yeah.
one and done
It's
deal.
a one
here.
done. Yeah, you don't get a second
It's on the
chance here,
3
pal.
strike rule.
Give me 2 more. Come
Yeah,
on.
come
What are we
on.
doing? Come on.
Wasn't
It's just
that
a
drunk. I
little-
was drunk. I wasn't that drunk. But they say, no, you're out, man. This is a Catholic school. Take that shit to public school.
Yeah.
Public school, they allow you to come to school drunk every once in a while.
Don't think that's true.
It's more lenient.
Okay.
But yeah, so again, if he fast forward, he's in this random person's house. The guy wakes up because he immediately goes in his house and goes to the fridge and cracks open a Corona, I
He
believe.
did.
Which is dangerous.
Ironic.
Dangerous
Very
times.
dangerous. Don't be drinking those Corona beers right now, folks.
But yeah, and the guy comes out. He's gonna beat the shit out of him. Obviously, he's like, "No, you can't leave. The fucking cops are coming." And Jack's like, "I just gotta go." Classic tumble down the stairs,
And he
hits his
passes
fucking
out.
head.
And we hear though, because the cops are fast.
Absolutely,
Apparently.
yeah. And he wakes up, and the only one is at the hospital. Unfortunately, at least someone was there. Was his sister?
Yep.
And
I really thought he was going to be handcuffed to that bed too.
same.
Yeah, I
they
thought
did
it was
not
weird that they
seem to
didn't.
care.
No.
They didn't even show him in like jail at all or any kind of
First hit and
repercussions.
run. Okay, which is a felony offense.
Breaking and entering.
Breaking and entering.
Fleeing the scene of a crime.
And then disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a slew of charges coming
Public
this guy's way.
intoxication.
Yeah, public
You can-
intoxication. There's so many charges here that I
He
could not
did
believe they didn't not cuff
Zero
this man.
jail time.
0 too. Yeah, he was literally out the next day. And we're like, what the hell is this? This makes no sense.
That was odd for me
I
for
thought
sure.
it was weird too. I'm like, this town, no laws. I guess.
Yeah, no one was even talking about it. Like your basketball coach fucking gets something crazy like that.
And you're trying to tell me no one reports on this?
Everyone be talking about.
Of course,
Imagine,
in
like,
that
Can you
town.
believe our
If that happened here,
it'd be the
or
biggest
any
news of the
town
century.
in the country, yes, that's happening. It's in the newspaper.
Your
it's in
Catholic
everything.
basketball. I know.
Yeah, Catholic basketball,
Hit and
high school
run,
basketball
breaks-
coach. Yeah, breaking and entering, disturbing the peace,
Hit and run.
public intoxication. The list goes on and on. People just got to be shaking their heads like, what the hell is going on?
No one even knew.
No,
it was
no
the
one
most,
batted a
everyone was
fucking
like,
eye.
"Oh, you're okay." Everyone was so fucking understanding about this.
Like, yeah, we get it. You know, that's Jack. Funny old Jack. Just doing this.
It's crazy, yeah. I mean, yeah, even though you know his son died, you still report on it.
yeah.
You still got to slap the guy with some crimes. I mean, they lived in a huge town. They lived in like L.A. or something. It was an awesome town for sure. But yeah. So at this point now, he's going to rehab, right? I mean, he's starting to do the steps.
He's going to therapy and rehab, which was probably court ordered, my guess.
There had to be something they made him do.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't. All right, Jack, get the fuck out of here.
12 hours of community service and you're good to go.
But yeah, he starts to. Well, the big thing is he starts to go to therapy, and for the first time, because since his son died, I'm assuming he hasn't opened up once.
No.
I mean,
well, he seems like a very closed off individual.
Yeah, and that's what I assume is the reason they broke up.
Right.
Was because there was he wouldn't open. He refused to open up to his wife or whatever. So they had to. They had to end it. But,
well, and I've heard too, like statistically, when a child dies like that, it's very hard to keep a marriage.
Oh, almost impossible. Yeah, very difficult. Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah. But yeah, so but it's a really good scene because it's the first time you hear him talk about it, talking about his son's death, and then the team is going to. The
playoffs.
Yeah, because they beat the bad team. They beat the bad guys. And the assistant coach, he doesn't... Oh, no, the bishop, who was always on his ass, dedicates the team to Jack.
Yep.
The ex-coach who just got breaking and entering.
We're doing it for that guy. We're doing it for him.
That's what God would want. We're doing it for the guy who destroyed that boat, then just took off. And... But yeah, and that's the last scene is he's at rehab or whatever.
Yep.
And he goes out to, but what an awesome rehab.
No kidding.
That's the coolest
State
basketball.
of the art.
That's
Yeah,
the coolest basketball court ever. Right on the fucking beach.
That view.
Are you
Look, I don't care what you're on. That's going to rehab you up real fast.
Sure.
I'm just going to be like, hold on.
I'd be in
Why
the
am
NBA.
I doing this?
I'd be in the NBA in 3 years. I'd be in baskets all day.
Shooting hoops every day.
Screw crack.
Yeah.
Hitting deep threes would be my drug of choice. Yeah, that was awesome. Are you kidding me? But it's sentimental because it was the first time he ever
picked up a basketball game.
But man, you don't lose the shot.
You don't. Apparently,
I was watching even when he was zooming out. I'm like, let's see. He missed one shot. Yeah, but every shot was a swish.
That wasn't Affleck.
Could it have? I know. That's what I was thinking.
It was a double.
Well, I know he plays basketball though. But that guy seems skinnier to me.
Yeah, he did. He seemed smaller to me.
He
seemed about the same height.
But slight different build, yeah, for sure.
I think Affleck's a little thicker.
He is. He's chubbier for sure. But I agree, too. He looked like he was getting way too much bounce on that jump.
And to where a guy that hasn't played basketball,
hasn't played basketball in 25 years, and he's been drinking for the last 5 years, and he comes out, and he's
like really good. All of a sudden, you're like, damn, this guy must have been real good.
I think so, too, which is stupid. They should have had him come out. He would have been shitty, but it's not about him draining.
Yeah, it's not about him like going, I'm going to sign in the NBA now at 46.
I'm going back to Kansas. Maybe they'll still give me my scholarship.
Oh, man.
But it was sentimental.
It was.
But a nice ending, I guess. He didn't become the coach. I doubt he'll ever coach basketball again.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, who's going to get
kind of record?
The resume is not very appealing.
He coached, 6 weeks, and he was fired.
He was fired immediately after that.
Got one warning 2 days in, and then was fired 4 weeks after that. He has maybe the worst attendance for basketball coaching all the time. But the team still loved him.
They did. The kids appreciated him.
The entire town seems to rally around this guy.
They did rally around him quite a bit.
But
look, man, when you got the guy who's taken you to the only state championship game you've ever been to, you're gonna love the guy to death.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how long or what he's done. I guess
I know that, but he devastated. Devastated the team when he left.
It is true.
They did not do a single thing.
No, in 25 years.
Not even a single appearance, not a playoff, not a. That's the worst run of all time.
It is.
Yeah, 1 year you're just gonna get lucky, but I guess when you're competing against
savages year in and year out.
But no wonder this team is the best team in California. They're playing against the worst teams in the state.
Unquestionably there.
Yeah, and they weren't even the worst team because there's teams that team beat even before Ben Affleck came on.
And they beat a few teams.
So what a division that must be.
God.
You got one team that is grown men, 5 starting NBA players. They're playing the rest of
They're playing like 15-year-olds who are 5'7".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, the basketball element did not work for me, but the
Okay.
drama element worked really well.
What do you think about Ben Affleck's performance?
Great. I thought it was great.
Yeah, so did I. I was very impressed with
By
it.
far, I believe him more as an alcoholic than I do as a successful basketball coach, unfortunately. But he's a weird actor for me. Where some things I think he's bad in, and some things, but like this, he goes, he's got great depth. He goes, it gets very, very sad at one point. You see a ton of emotion, and you can see him carrying the emotion throughout the entire movie.
There were some moments that gave me like little like emotional chills.
Absolutely,
where I was like, wow, like that's a sad scene. One of them being the scene with the hospital and dealing with Miguel and like him passing away or saying that there's nothing, like that was just such a heart-wrenching scene. And then to know that he's going to go back to the alcohol again because that's his only medicine. He's self-medicating. It was a really, really good story.
That's the thing. It was a really good portrait of an alcoholic. I thought they did. I mean, I thought they did a very realistic job, and we joke about it a lot, but that is something that he knows, and that's something, and that's something
that he's dealt with and conquered.
But it's not something that's easy to portray, especially even if you've gone through it. I think it might even be more difficult. But so I think it's
especially too
again therapeutic.
Dealing with alcoholism and being a former alcoholic, it's got to be hard to see alcohol everywhere all the time on set. Every day's on. Because I was looking at that bar, and that's what I thought literally when I watched this movie was, I wonder how Affleck feels about seeing all those alcohol bottles up there, all the whiskey bottles, all the vodka bottles, and then having to have a beer in his hand all the time. I wonder what that did to him. Psychologically.
Again, I bet it was super therapeutic for him.
Kind of like the Honey Boy situation with
absolutely,
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, to know that's something he overcame, and now he's portraying it in a movie. I think kind of gives him more power over it or whatever.
Yeah,
but we're kind of seeing a lot of those where people are just making movies out of the problems.
I like it though. I mean, it makes for a great story.
It makes for a great story.
It does.
For sure. Well,
and it's an original idea too.
Yeah.
Like tell me a movie that like is exactly like this. I can't really think of one where it's a basketball coach fall from grace. Alcoholism, dealing with a child dying. Like it was a lot, and it was a good story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my biggest gripe was I thought the basketball parts were, I could just watch 2 hours of a straight up drama with Ben Affleck having to overcome this crazy grief of losing his son or whatever. Because that was the parts I was waiting for in the movie. I was waiting for the basketball scenes to get over just so we can get in, just to see more and more of this. Because you want to see how far he can slip.
Oh, yeah.
That was the whole thing. And every time him going back to that bar, it was just like, just watching it was crushing.
It was.
Just to know that this guy isn't going to get better until something crazy happens. Because that's how it always happens.
And I was so proud of him. I was so happy when he pulled out that one day after the guy's like, I'll set you up inside. And he pulled it out. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but you knew.
But you knew eventually.
You knew how the pacing was going.
Of course. Well, story arc. The art of
Exactly,
storytelling.
Yeah.
You knew that there had to be a problem. He
knew
was
it was
going to go
back to
it.
up,
Yep.
down,
Yep.
then
then up.
Yeah. Yeah, you knew exactly. That's it. It wasn't. It was predictable in that sense.
But that's
the way.
predictable
But the
with all
way
stories.
it was portrayed and everything. I just thought it was good. It was realistic, and the way he kept working like as a construction worker, like they obviously didn't give a fuck.
They don't care. No, as long as you're doing
as long as
your
you're
job,
hammering
as long
nails
as
and you're still doing the same shit. Yeah, he's drunk as hell. We don't care. But let's give it our grades. What do you think about it, Mason?
We just talked about this movie for an hour, so I'll just kind of sum it up. I really enjoyed the acting. I thought the story was great. For me, it's pretty cut and dry. I gave this movie a solid B. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I do agree with you in a lot of ways that the basketball elements didn't necessarily needed to be added to that extent. I did not hate them, though. I didn't think it was like, oh my God, I hate this part. But at the same time, I was so invested into Jack, the character Jack, Ben Affleck, that that I almost like, as you said, there were times where I just wanted to see more of Jack and what he was going through, and then dealing with the child and everything else on top of that. That's a lot to go through.
Yeah, and there was no development, I thought, between him and the team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where I thought he wasn't like
bonding or anything.
Yeah,
with him.
I never thought once like, man, they're so close. Like I never thought like this. But they obviously liked him a lot, but they never showed like why they liked him so much or whatever. Again, I think it was the full court press. They saw that shit. I'm like, this guy is next fucking level IQ. He's, I mean, we
basketball
love it, but,
Einstein.
But yeah, that's why I thought. I mean, if it was like a mini series or something where they could expand it more, but they just couldn't do it in 2 hours because there's so much of those drama scenes that you had to see. Because that was obviously the meat and potatoes. Again, I think they marketed it weird, where they pushed it as it was a sports movie. So that was what I was really going to expect, but it's not. It's 90% drama, 10% of sports movie.
Definitely.
And I like this, but I gave it a C+.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Ben Affleck's performance was, again, the best part of it. He put his soul out for sure, and this is one that he didn't phone in like the Netflix one, where I couldn't even tell you what character he played in that.
I don't remember.
Something about a senator, I think.
Yeah,
the
senator,
treasurer,
like
maybe
double cross some. I don't fucking know.
But again, the Ben Affleck code is he's got to be able to relate somehow to the character. The character's either got to be from Boston, it's got to be maybe he worked construction at some point in his life, or he likes to drink.
Okay.
The 3 Ben Affleck standards. A Playboy billionaire, he's out of his fucking element. He's got no idea.
I don't know. He goes, I'm worth millions of dollars.
Can I give him a Boston accent?
Yeah.
No,
Like, no,
Ben. He's not from Boston. Yeah.
He's from New York.
We can't, but I think that's the secret.
Yep.
But that's I would recommend it.
Okay. I would as well.
If the theaters
I would definitely recommend
if the theaters are open,
mm-hmm.
by the time this comes out, I would say go see it.
Yeah, definitely.
If they're not, we aren't all quarantined or dead.
That's a possibility.
Then this is one that you probably can go see, and there'll probably be no one in your theater.
No.
Not a single.
Especially the fact this came out March 6th.
And it didn't do great.
It did not. And I kind of wish it did, because it deserves to at least make its money back.
I know. Well, what else is it going? Well, it Outward came out the same week, a Pixar movie.
The Pixar film with Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
You don't want to go up against the giant Pixar.
Yeah.
So because it's at 21 to 25 million right now on 11.5. This movie was made for 4.5 more than Invisible Man. It's because they probably shot in fucking California, downtown LA.
Everything's expensive.
That's crazy.
Imagine renting out those gyms too.
That's
crazy.
Expensive. That school, they probably had to rent that fucking.
The school was so funny. So
campus.
Yeah, the very beginning of the basketball game when they were at home. Okay, when the team was at home, not the away games, but at home specifically, it was so funny. Because I was with my girlfriend watching it, and I was like, "Look at the audience. Try to find it this whole game." Like, because I looked the first 30 seconds, I'm like, there's not one adult in this entire thing. No one's watching their kid play, and it would like pan through the audience, like all the way through. Not a single adult. All those kids were extras.
Oh, yeah.
Or all the extras were kids, right?
Yeah.
It was crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? There's no parents.
Well, maybe it was
realistic
where his parents knew that team was so bad.
Yeah, they're like, you know what?
Yeah,
I got better things to do, Jack.
Yeah, I can do anything else but watch your shitty ass throw up 30 bricks from 40 feet out when you're
I gotta watch your fucking center throw up shots when you're the much better shooter. I don't want to come and support you.
No one. Imagine being the only adult in that audience. Quit fucking shooting. Sir, you gotta go.
Just gets drowned out by everyone else cheering.
Yeah, no wonder there wasn't a single, not even the staff didn't go.
No, they didn't. No one did.
They must have had a good football team.
Yeah, or they must have heard about the coronavirus. And all the kids were like, well, we don't care about it.
Well, that was pre-corona. That was when we were living in different times.
We were.
People
life has
washing,
changed
people
pretty
were washing
drastically.
their hands.
Yeah. Can't find fucking toilet paper anywhere. Good thing I got a bidet.
I haven't shit in weeks. Yeah, a lot of people are saying this whole toilet paper situation is all the the nefarious dealings of the big bidet companies.
Dude, the bidet is the way to go. I've had a bidet for about a year
big
now.
bidet buying out all this TP, and now they're thinking TP's running out.
Look, man.
Now you come crawling to the bidet company.
What's better? What's better? You smear it until it goes away, or you pressure wash that bitch?
I don't like
pressure wash it.
I don't like any of those terms to describe
how you clean yourself. Yeah, well, I can't do toilet paper, man. The thought of it just grosses me out.
Yeah, well, once you go bidet,
you never go away
ever, because you live forever.
Because you just sit on the toilet and
just let that water shoot straight
right
up your
up
ass.
asshole. Oh God! Alrighty. Well, that's our review for The Way Back, the Ben Affleck starred film. If you guys like what you saw here, check us out on YouTube. Type in "Have you seen it?" SCENE. Be sure to like this video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. We're almost to 200 subscribers.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
Give us a review. Give us a review on iTunes also.
Yes, give us a review on iTunes. Our iTunes, we have more listeners than we do iTunes reviews. So if you guys have an Apple phone, be sure to just give us a quick 5-star review. It really does help this podcast. It helps get it out to other people. For whatever reasons, we just don't have a lot of reviews. We have a lot of listeners, but not a lot of reviews. So that if you could do that, that would we'd greatly appreciate that.
That'd be awesome.
Social media pages: Instagram, Have You Seen It? Facebook, Have You Seen a Podcast? And Twitter, Seen It Podcast. Cash is on Twitter. That's just Cash. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Kraus. And until next time.
Bye.